is tracking the week. Brazil on Monday rolled out full military honors at the Planalto Palace in Brasilia to receive President Bola Tinubu. Onanuga said Tinubu was welcomed by his host, President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. President Bola Tinubu arrived in Brasilia, Brazil on Monday with a call for renewed diplomatic and economic cooperation between Nigeria and the South American country. In a post via his official X handle on Monday, the president described his meeting with Brazilian leader Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva as a renewal of the historic relationship between both nations. The Nigerian leader expressed his readiness to deepen cooperation in agriculture, energy, trade, and culture with the Brazilian leader and the government. Still on Monday, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB has directed all candidates who uploaded their O-level results before the release of the final 2025 West African Senior Certificate Examination results to revisit accredited centers and re-upload their results. According to the board, all previously uploaded results have been cleared from each system to prevent discrepancies and ensure that only the official WAEC results are used for admission processing. In its weekly news bulletin released, JAMB explained that some candidates who sat for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME with awaiting results had earlier uploaded incomplete WAEC records before the official release. To address this, JAMB has mandated a fresh upload for all candidates regardless of whether the new results differ from those uploaded earlier. Also on Monday, member representing Makurdi North State constituency, Beggar Alfred Mbega, has been sworn in as the new Speaker of the 10th Assembly at the Benue State House of Assembly following an emergency sitting of members of the Benue State House of Assembly shortly after the resignation of the former Speaker, Andona Dajo. The sitting was preceded by Deputy Speaker of the House, Lami Danladi, interesting times at the Benue State House of Assembly following the resignation of the former Speaker, Andona Danjo, without much notice. Presiding over the emergency sitting, the Deputy Speaker, Lami Danladi, who acted as the Speaker of the House, convened and lifted the suspension of 4 members earlier suspended by the House. On Tuesday, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed that one of its Kaduna-bound AKTS train services was involved in a derailment in the morning. According to the corporation, the incident happened around 11:09 a.m. at kilometer 49 between Kubwa Station and Asham Station. In a statement issued via their official X account, the corporation said the unfortunate incident involved its Kaduna-bound AKTS train service at about 11:09 a.m. at kilometer 49 between Kubwa Station and Asham Station. The NRC noted that emergency services had been activated to respond promptly to the situation. Emergency rescue, medical personnel, and nearby hospitals were mobilized, adding full complement security personnel on ground as efforts were geared to move all passengers on train back to Abuja safely. Calling for calm, the corporation urged passengers and the general public to remain patient as authorities worked to ensure safety and restore normalcy. Details on the cause of the derailment and the number of passengers affected were yet to be disclosed at the time of filing these reports. Also on Tuesday, the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU, University of Abuja chapter, joined the nationwide protest by lecturers to demand payment of withheld salaries, arrears, and implementation of a renegotiated agreement. The chairman of the union at the chapter Dr. Silvanus Ugo said lecturers have been on the same salary structure since 2009 and are owed 3.5 months salaries, 1 year arrears of wage awards, unpaid promotion arrears for over 5 years, and unremitted deductions. He faulted government's loan proposal for academic staff, describing it as insensitive, while legitimate entitlements remain unpaid. Ugo warned that neglect of lecturers' welfare was fueling brain drain and undermining Nigeria's development, stressing that no nation can grow beyond the quality of its university system. The protesting lecturers carried placards and chanted solidarity songs, urging government to act urgently to revitalize universities and honor agreements. On Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended Nigeria's capital market's remarkable growth since he assumed office over 2 years ago. He noted the phenomenal rise in market capitalization and increased trading activity, which have broadened investment opportunities for Nigerians and international investors. President Tinubu spoke during his state visit to Brazil when he received the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) and the Board of Directors of the Nigerian Exchange Group plc. He described the market's performance as a clear reflection of investor confidence in his administration's reforms and bold economic measures. President Tinubu lauded the NGX board and SEC leadership for their commitment, affirming his administration's unwavering resolve to elevate Nigeria's financial ecosystem. He stressed that this dialogue is vital to achieving the Renewed Hope agenda's economic targets and positioning Nigeria as Africa's premier investment destination. SEC Director General Dr. Emomotimi Agama applauded the recent signing of the Investment and Securities Act 2025 and described it as one of Africa's most comprehensive legal frameworks for capital markets. He stated that the act will propel Nigeria toward a 300 trillion naira market while ensuring equitable wealth distribution through strong investor protection and regulatory clarity. Still on Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a 6-month temporary ban on the export of raw shea nuts to curb informal trade, boost local processing, protect and grow Nigerian shea industry. The ban, which is with immediate effect, is subject to review on expiration and significantly aimed at boosting Nigeria's share value chain to generate around $300 million annually in the short term. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who announced the president's directive during a multi-stakeholder meeting at the presidential villa, called on the Federal Ministry of Finance and other related government agencies to fast-track enforcement. Speaking further on the directive, the vice president said the decision was not an anti-trade policy but a pro-value addition policy designed to secure raw materials for our processing factories and enabling industries run at full capacity, thereby boosting rural income and jobs for our people. He added that the decision would transform Nigeria from an exporter of raw shea nuts to a global supplier of refined shea butter. Just as he said, it is about industrialization, rural transformation, general empowerment, and expanding Nigeria's global trade footprint. Also on Wednesday, immediate past Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, Honorable Hyacinth Dajo, has been suspended for 3 months following allegation of attempting to impeach the state governor, Hyacinth Alia. The former speaker, who resigned his position this past Sunday, was suspended after a motion moved by the lawmaker representing Kian State constituency, Honorable Tena Shimawa, and seconded by James Umoru from Akwa State constituency. Shimawa, who moved the motion, was one of those suspended last week Friday by the former Speaker Hyacinth Dajo before his resignation as Speaker on Sunday. The Speaker, Alfred Mbega, who ruled on the motion, reviewed Dajo's suspension from 6 months to 3 months, also confirmed controversial Associate Professor Timothy Onguga and other nominees previously rejected by the Assembly. On Thursday, the federal government has declared that it has no signed agreement with the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Lausa, made the disclosure in Abuja while speaking with journalists at the sideline of an event. Lausa declared that the ministry has not slated meeting with ASUU, noting that government has been in constant meeting with ASUU on sundry issues. On the agreement and other demands that prompted the warning strike across tertiary institutions recently in the country, the minister revealed that he had a meeting with the permanent secretary of the ministry, Minister of Labour, and Solicitor General of the Federation, among others, this morning and came up with a resolution. He stressed that a committee has been set up to look into the draft agreement decided upon at the Thursday meeting and forward same to the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities before a final copy will be decided upon. Alausa said the Ministry of Justice was not involved in the previous agreement the government made with the ASUU, adding that President Bola Tinubu has commissioned the committee to come up with an agreement that is backed up with constitution and that is implementable. All efforts to get the reaction of the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities on the development proved abortive as of the time of these reports. Also on Thursday, the former governor of Kaduna State and national leader of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Nasiru El-Rufai, has stormed Kaduna State to receive hundreds of new members into the ADC party. El-Rufai, while speaking in Hausa, took a swipe at the current government. The former governor said Nigerians do not need further explanation to recognize the shortcomings of the present administration. El-Rufai further claimed that the APC knows it will not win the 2027 general election and are already planning on ways to rig the election to their favor, but they will not agree to it. He urged ADC leaders to sensitize people about the coalition, especially those that just attained 18 years, to register as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) commences the registration exercise. Also speaking at the event, the National Vice Chairman Northwest, Jafaru Sani, said the ADC is all out to wrestle power from the ruling APC because they have failed to bring good governance in the country. On Friday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu congratulates Engineer Olayinka Hakeem Babalola on his election as the president of Rotary International for the 2026-2027 calendar year. Babalola, a member of the Rotary Club of Trans-Amadi, Nigeria, was elected by the Rotary International Board of Directors following Sankuyu's resignation on health grounds. Babalola will assume office on July 1, 2026. The Rotarian is the second African and Nigerian to attain the position in the Global Humanitarian Organization's 120-year history. Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the President's Information and Strategy, in a statement said, President Tinubu believes that Babalola's elevation is a testament to his years of service through the Nigerian Society of Engineers and Rotary International. His laudable philanthropic initiatives and relentless pursuit of projects that have impacted lives, strengthened communities, and advanced peace, progress, and human dignity. Onanuga said the president also believes Babalola's election will inspire millions of Nigerians, especially the younger generation, by demonstrating that anyone can achieve global recognition and lead transformative change with vision, integrity, and dedication to service. President Tinubu wishes Engineer Babalola a successful tenure and renewed strength in his service to humanity. Still on Friday, the rector of Federal Polytechnic Wanune, FPW, Dr. Tiyova Ashinya, has debunked allegations of corruption, high-handedness paddled against him and other personalities in the institution by its former deputy rector, Dr. Doris Iyochie, as false and misleading, aimed at undermining his integrity and that of the institution. The rector disclosed these at the Council Secretariat of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Makurdi at its expanded Congress while speaking on its efforts to reposition the institution to a first-class federal polytechnic deserving of its reputation, with good teaching and hostel facilities and other amenities for students. The rector said Dr. Mary Iyochie, who is going about casting aspersion and smearing his person and others on the social media platforms, was a deputy rector of the institution who was dismissed for gross misconduct and failure to present required documentation for confirmation, which led to her dismissal by the management, a situation she is now going about making unfounded claims. Lastly, on Friday, as Osun State is still in the mood of celebrating 34 years of its creation, Workers' Union in the state have commended Governor Demola Adeleke for his unwavering commitment to the welfare of workers and the people of the state since inception of his administration. The Workers' Union and their members gave the commendation at a solidarity rally organized to profess their loyalty and support to the administration of the governor. They expressed support for the governor on the issue of local government leadership in the state and also used the occasion to remind workers and other residents to take active participation in the ongoing continuous voters registration to ensure that the governor is voted for a second term in order to continue his good works. They appealed to the federal government to release withheld Osun State local government funds to the state government. And that's all we have for you on Tracking the Week.